Always charge your batteries. Very important lesson. Because now I have to wait. And I've only done 2.5 seconds or so. Yes, I am eating a mint. Another useful piece of information. Bring snacks. You're going to be out here all day if you're animating, probably. You get hungry. While I'm waiting for my batteries to recharge, there are other things that I like to do with my animations. One thing you might notice, I've decided recently I like to add little references here and there, as Emmett here is one that I feel like I'm going to throw into my animations here and there every now and again. Perhaps if I reach my goal, which is to have Emmett in every video, he'll be a fun Easter egg to look out for in all videos. I also like to leave references to future projects I have planned, so when you're watching this video here, be sure to keep an eye out for any references or Easter eggs to other things that don't seem to quite fit, because who knows, that might be my next project. Doesn't necessarily mean I will get it out next. Another thing I did, I got bored of trying to animate background and foreground characters to be the same length as a shot I'd already done. So what I did is I cheated for one of the shots. You can see it's quite obvious, but I only edited just over a second. I think it was 28 frames originally, but I cut out some of those shots, duplicated it a bunch of times, and ended up with a shot that was roughly only 1 second worth of footage, but I synced up the first frame and the last frame not very well, because if you look it's very obvious where the ending is, but it works well enough, and the Urukai are supposed to be doing this monotonous chanting, bashing their shields and spears, and so I figured it's going to be a repetitive motion, why not just cheat it and do one motion and then just duplicate it and have a loop. And it works well enough because you don't really notice it amongst everything else. This is always a fun part of animating, doing the compositing stuff. Well, animating the shots for the compositing. And when I say fun, I mean not fun. I'm going through here, finding the right frames, so around this mark is where he loses the saddle. So I've tried matching that up. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as I get it roughly the right time for when he should be arriving, this guy should be arriving, doesn't matter. If it's spot on, we can play around with that when in editing. As we always say in the business, fix it in post. So I've been using a calculator, trying to find exactly roughly where it is. This shot hasn't been too bad. There have been much worse shots. This one's actually fine, and I've not got too much longer. That was my camera sound. I've not got too much more of this shot to do, I don't think. But then I've got to do it again for a second time for a rider right here. I would do it in the same shot, except I don't have more Rohirrim. So that's going to be fun to figure out. And hopefully I can line up him reacting to Éomer falling off the horse. But if I don't get that, bugger, well, I'll just have to cope with what I've got. The keen-eyed of you may have noticed that the Gandalf used in the actual animation is not actually a Gandalf minifigure. Rather, it's a Saruman with Gandalf's head and staff. And that's because I couldn't find my Gandalf the White minifigure. I wasn't sure if I did actually have one. I thought I might have done, but I could have been wrong. Turned out I did have a Gandalf the White, but I'm not going to go and re-edit it. But I will use him to say hello here.
Hello. This is just a bit of rotoscoping, as the title says. The reason we still do this, despite the fact that everything's filmed on a green screen, is even when you're using a green screen, you can get green spill that creates a greenish glow around the figures and set pieces. So rotoscoping is done to get rid of that.
So I'm on day 6 probably by now. And, well, this is behind the scenes, so I thought I should do some behind the scenes content. That is Lord of the Rings music playing. I like to have that on in the background while doing this, because this is a long, tedious process where I'm out here practically all day, still animating. It's nice to have something to listen to, even if it's just music, and the Lord of the Rings music seems appropriate and fitting. For me, personally, I find this is pretty much all I really need. I say pretty much all I need. It's good enough is what I mean. Yes, a more expensive professional light would probably be better, and some official paper. I don't know if there is an official diffusing paper as an actual thing, but this light, thin paper works as a diffuser anyway, and you just need an IKEA desk light. That's all that is. It's all I really need. But it's always good to have more than just the one light. Using a green screen, it can get quite dark, as you can see if you haven't got it lit up properly. Not having a lit up green screen can cause problems when it comes to the editing process, as my editor has shown me countless times. So I've got my phone here, got the torch on, supported between two rocks. Pro tip when you're using rocks, don't drag them across the green screen or else this happens. That's why you always pick up and place. I was working with my editor last night on the computer. I should have filmed it, but I didn't think about it. And the base plate was causing more trouble than it was solving by being green. For instance, Aragorn was turning into a ghost, the orcs were turning into ghosts, becoming completely see-through and translucent, transparent. Two different words, but close enough. You take your pick which one you think that they were. And in the end, we had to make a duplicate layer and make the background black and white. So we had to make the green grey and everything else that was see-through grey, so that it would hide the fact that they were going invisible every now and again, and hide the green that was occasionally showing up. So if you take a close look at that shot with Aragorn and the orcs, with the zoom in that I was talking about, where they're on the bridge, where their weapons disappear, then take a look. You might notice that everything goes a bit grey every now and again. If you pause it on certain frames, you might notice what I'm talking about. The main reason I've gotten back into this stop motion is because of a competition that the LEGO group are running, so I've decided to enter that. But I've been meaning to get back into my stop motion, and this has just been a really good excuse to get back into it. And I purchased a new stop motion software, Stop Motion Pro. That's been quite useful. It freaks out a bit when you're uploading pictures. I think it works better if you can plug your camera in. I need to get one of those. As it is, it freaks out and doesn't know how to do all the pictures when you're uploading 400 plus pictures, as I found out. So hopefully this is a lead back into me getting my stop motion done. And I've got a few ideas. I've had a few ideas for a while, but I'll hopefully work through those and get them out.